Hi, and welcome to our live coverage of the count of the local elections in Manchester today. My name is Victoria, and I hope you're all glued to our live blog. If not, you find it on the Northern Quota website. We don't have results in yet, but we heard counting might be done at about 4, and until then, our reporter George is on the ground, and he's joining me virtually to let us know what's going on. Hi, George, can you hear me?
Hi, Victoria.
Hi, George, where are you at the moment, and what's happening around you?
Right, so I'm standing outside the Manchester Conference Centre. Unfortunately, this year we weren't allowed in as a result of the coronavirus restrictions that are in place. But we're standing out here and we're just gearing up to receive the first results from the Manchester City Council local election.
That sounds great. You've told me you've spoken to a few people earlier. Are there any indications on how the vote might be going?
Yes, I have. I've spoken to two Liberal Democrat council candidates, and it's safe to say that they weren't over the moon about the result. Obviously, restrictions in place mean that they can't disclose the exact nature of the results to now, but there is certainly a sense amongst them that things hadn't gone as they thought.
Right. Were there any? What's influencing the election this year? We talked earlier about national issues paying into that.
Yeah, of course. I mean, national issues always come into play with local elections. We saw earlier today with the Hartlepool by-election result that ousted a Labour MP there in favour of a Conservative, and that picture was certainly carrying through much of the day with the Conservatives making some impressive gains. A place like Nuneaton, that's usually a bellwether for the popularity of political parties across the country. But of course, here in Manchester, things are different. We have 94 councillors who sit on the Manchester City Council, which comprises of a total of 96 councillors. So it's very much Labour dominated. And despite there being some indication that that might change in this election, at present it seems that that's not the case.
Thank you very much, George. That was a very interesting insight, and we'll catch up with you later on. For now, I'm joined by our reporter Connie Ensler, who's keeping an eye on the rest of the nation for us. Connie, what are we seeing happening on a national level?
So, Victoria, for England, as of the latest results, the Conservatives hold Derbyshire and Labour have just been reported to hold Wolverhampton. And at this point in the count, it seems that Conservative have 13 councils and Labour 8. Although the two main parties have suffered significant losses this time around, and the Tories have fared the worse, having lost 1,300 councillors compared to the 2015 election. Lib Dems also seem to be doing very well. They've made gains in 154 areas in England, and their largest gain has been in Chelmsford. Even the Greens and the Independents are already doing better than the 2015 elections. The Green Party has won 194 seats more than in 2015. And then in Scotland, yesterday, Scotland voted to elect 129 members of the Scottish Parliament, and the first results are in for the Orkney constituency, which is held by the Liberal Democrats at this point, and the counting is continuing across the country. Then in Wales, Tories have been re-elected in Montgomeryshire, with Russell George holding on to his seat there.
That's some very interesting results. Thank you. How has the voter turnout been in the different elections?
So in the Scottish election, it's been much higher than anticipated in many areas, 10% higher than in 2016. And a record number of people in Scotland have signed up for postal ballot due to the pandemic. So it's likely that these are part of the older demographic who would be more at risk and prefer to stay away from polling stations. Then in Wales, which has followed Scotland in granting the right of vote to 16 and 17-year-olds, 50% of young people did not register to vote for the Welsh Parliament election. So, and there's been research published just before the first lockdown that showed that young people in Wales had quite a limited understanding of Welsh politics. However, TikTok influencers have been playing their part in encouraging most people to vote by sharing the importance of contributing to elections.
Great. Not all of these votes have been counted yet, I gather. So are there any projected results you can tell us about?
Yes, so for England, it's of course likely that the results will be very close between the two main parties. And there's a projected share of 28% of the votes between Labour and Conservatives, same for both. And it's also quite likely that about 19% will go to the Liberal Democrats, and then the other 25% would go to other independent parties.
Thank you very much, Connie, for this update on the national level. And we will be back shortly after 4 with the latest updates. In the meantime, keep an eye on your blog on the Northern Quota website, and please follow us on Twitter. Thank you, and see you later.